It is interesting thinking that there are little me's running around somewhere. Like, that's fucking weird. Get ready with me while I tell you guys about my experience with donating my eggs. Quick disclaimer, I am not telling you to do this. This is merely my experience. So a lot of people don't know this about me, but I have donated my eggs 3 different times. I was watching the news one day and I saw this woman who told her experience about donating eggs to help pay for law school. Both my husband and I were in nursing school at the time, and we were working full time, but honestly it just wasn't helping pay all of our bills and all the things we wanted to do. So I was like, light bulb. This was in the state of Oklahoma, so it could be different for different states, but the initial testing for this was a lot. There was like a psych test, there was an extra few blood tests because of my Jewish ancestry. Now, mind you, this was well before I was ever diagnosed with depression, anxiety, PTSD, all the things. There was a lot of before paperwork, like a lot. And honestly, I was too young to fully understand it. Yeah. But at the time, it made sense and I was willing to do it. So after we got my testing done, I submitted my profile with pictures. I think they even like asked for like my GPA, like all kinds of information about me. And you know, it's funny, I submitted this kind of willy-nilly thinking no one would ever pick me. And I swear to God, the first week somebody called and asked if I was ready to donate my eggs. This has been a few years now, so I might not get all the things correct, but I do remember going in, getting a baseline of my follicles, my ovaries, and then I started taking medications. Also, I couldn't be on birth control during this time, and something you have to not do while taking these medications is have sex. You better be abstinent. Otherwise, you could end up like the next Octomom. So I was taking Lupron, a follicle stimulating hormone, and HCG, or the trigger shot. So I was giving myself injections every single day for like 15 days or something like that. I was also going in very frequently for them to vaginally ultrasound me and check my follicles. And when I tell you, I looked pregnant. I did. My ovaries were so swollen at one point. I was like, this can't be normal. But it is. It's normal apparently. So after the trigger shot, it's like 1 or 2 days before you go in for egg retrieval. And I was terrified for this. I had no idea what to expect, but honestly, that was the easiest part of the whole process. So they sent me in, I saw the stirrups and I immediately was like, PTSD. But luckily they put me under before they put my feet in those stirrups because like, I just have a thing with those. Like they just make me really uncomfortable. The next thing I know, they woke me up and I was waiting for my husband to pick me up and go home. I want to say the first time they got like 9 eggs. And I'm going to tell you the major side effects I had before I tell you how much money I made. So side effects for a few days after retrieval are extreme abdominal pain, bloating, and swelling, along with moodiness. And I had all of those. Now the first egg retrieval wasn't so bad, but mind you, I did this 3 times. The second egg retrieval and the third were by far the worst pain I've ever had in my life. This was my stomach. It was so swollen, so incredibly swollen. It hurt so bad. I was gaining weight every day, about 2 pounds. And that is too much weight to be gaining when you are supposed to be losing weight. So I had like my own caseworker per se for my egg donation. And I had to keep in contact with her at all times pretty much just to let her know how I was feeling. And I will say, I do feel like after they got my eggs, they didn't really give a fuck about me. So like I said, after the second, third egg retrieval, I had the most pain I've ever had in my life. After the third one, I told myself I would never do it again. Mostly because I found out that I could have been making way more money than I was. And that really pissed me off because they're taking so many of my eggs. So the first time they got like 9, the second time they got like 12, and the third time they got like 19 eggs. I got paid $5,000, $5,000, and $8,000 because by the third time I had been doing a lot of research and realizing that you can actually negotiate this shit, as we should be able to. I also stopped after my third retrieval because one of my good friends had gotten into it, and I can't remember if it was her first or second time, but she ended up having to go to the ER for acute kidney failure. So yeah, one of my friends went into acute kidney failure, and she was in a different state than me, but her team kind of treated her like she was an idiot. They gaslit her and told her that she probably wasn't that sick up until she finally went to the hospital. And turns out they were just mad because they were gonna have to pay for her hospital stay. I'm not saying that happens everywhere. It's just something to be aware about. And you guys asked me, do you have any side effects now later in life? I have not noticed any, but that doesn't mean I won't have any. Considering I was pumping myself full of hormones, they took a bunch of my eggs. You know, you only get a finite amount of eggs throughout your whole life. Do I regret the decision? Absolutely not. It helped me through a time in my life where I thought I would never get out of that rut. So the whole process is fairly anonymous. Obviously, they know what I look like, but they're legally not allowed to reach out to me, and I have no clue who they are. So it's anonymous. And I didn't realize how important this could be for some people. That sounds so stupid, but I was so young and naive. Up until my second retrieval, the woman left me a gift. She got me a necklace and she left me a handwritten note explaining how thankful she was that I was donating my eggs because she had been trying for a family for years. And it really just like made my heart feel good because at the end of the day, I was doing it for me. I needed money to help our family. But the moment I realized I was really helping somebody else, it made it feel so much more worth it. And while I say I don't regret it, if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't do it. Mostly because I did not fully understand what it does to my body and also the repercussions I could have in the future. Again, I was young and dumb and I just needed some freaking money and I didn't really care how I got it. So I'm not telling you not to do it. It's just make sure you do your due diligence because I didn't do that. Make sure you ask your doctor all the questions because I think I asked her like 3 out of 10 questions because I was too scared to ask her actual questions. I know I rambled a lot, but let me know if you have any other questions. Hopefully I answered them. I am fully transparent about this, so ask away.